Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Mike Beer. Friday's DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day is the 9th at Keeneland. Let's take a look at the field for the Grade 3 Valley View Stakes. A full field of 3-year-old fillies going 1 1/16 miles on the turf. Head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. Download your free Formulator past performances for the Valley View and handicap along with us as we take this field in post position order. Mike, the number 1, Lovely Bernadette, beat 4 of these common foes last time out at Indiana Grand and has the tactical speed to work out a good trip from the rail.
Yeah, I think that's all true. She's clearly improved since they switched her over to turf this summer. And while she did defeat 4 of these horses last time, boy, did she do it with a perfect trip in that race. I mean, a really fast pace. She just sat off of it. I like the way that she finished in there, Dan. She was much the best at the end. That being said, I'm not so sure she ran any better than Betty G did, the horse that ran second in there.
The number 2, Chastise, is a lightly raced daughter of Breeders' Cup Classic winner Blame. This one is trained by Todd Pletcher. She got a good trip to win at Saratoga last time out on August the 19th, but it was her first start off of a long layoff. She beat a couple of next out allowance winners. I believe both earned 86 Beyer speed figures, and you've got a very limited positive Todd Pletcher formulator fact. Past year, 3-year-old last out winning turf riders off a moderate layoff. He's won 3 of 4 with a 657 ROI. This horse still has upside.
Yeah, she really does. I mean, I guess all things considered, she ran fine in that Saratoga race. She got an absolutely perfect trip to get it done in there, but she did get it done. It's sort of interesting that, she hasn't run back since then, and, she's going to show up here now in a Grade 3 race. I was wondering where she was. She was entered in the Sands Point at Belmont last month and scratched. And now she turns up here. She has won at Keeneland before. There's things to like about her. I just wouldn't take too short a price on her.
Another filly with good tactical speed. The 3, Let It Ride Mom, got back to her winning ways last time out at Woodbine over the Tapeta surface. You have to wonder, looking at her lifetime record, her turf races in the past, if she's more of a synthetic horse at this point in her career.
Yeah, I mean, she's certainly, if nothing else, she's got a lot to prove on the grass.
Let's take a look at the number 4. That's Princess La Quinta. This horse tried to come from way out of it last time out at Indiana Grand when beaten by Lovely Bernadette. I think she was really hurt by the post position that day, and the jock made a decision coming out of the gate that we're just going to take back, try to save some ground into the first turn. I wonder if that cost this filly. We know she can be closer to the pace.
Yeah, I think she will be in this race, although I don't know how much that will help her because there's a lot of speed in here, so we'll see what kind of trip she can work out. I don't totally hate her in here. I just feel like she has some improving to do against this kind of a field.
Let's talk about the speed in this race. Let's talk about the pace with the Timeform US pace projector, and they expect a fast pace, as you see by that red bar, and one of the pace setters should be the swift number 5, I'm Betty G, who you mentioned earlier on. For Michael Maker last time out, set a solid pace at Laurel. That is a nice Chad Brown filly that kicked her down in the stretch.
Yeah, she ran fine in that race, made a pretty solid pace in there, couldn't hold on at the end. That was 1 1/8 though. It might be a little too far for her. Her race 2 back at Indiana, and listen, I know she couldn't hold on at the end there. Lovely Bernadette just sort of ran her over late. That was a fast pace. I mean, she went fast. She took pressure. She put the pressure away, and then she just couldn't hold on at the end. Once again, I feel like she ran every bit as well as Lovely Bernadette did in that race, and she'll probably be a better price in here.
You're a big fan of the 6, Defiant Honor. You scored on her 2 starts back in the risk-averse at Saratoga. Then she threw in a clunker in the Sands Point. The good news for Defiant Honor's fans is she has run well off bad running lines in the past.
Yeah, that's for sure. I also feel like with her, maybe the 1 1/8 didn't do her any favors last time. And I also, not that she ran, I don't want to make too many excuses for her last race. She was pretty bad in there. But I didn't care for the ride that she got in that race. I don't know why they just grabbed her from the start and took her back off the pace. She's clearly a better horse, but you can at least get her forward. Get her forward, let her track the pace, and try and keep her in the clear. She's better than that last running line, but she's another horse in here. I think she can win, and I would probably use her, but I wouldn't take too short a price on her.
Keeneland graduate, the number 7, Fault, is in career form, and I still think she's a little bit underrated. She beat several of these horses with a beautiful ride from Miguel Mena, 2 starts back in the Pucker Up at Arlington. And last time out in the Sands Point, she got a nice trip, but she was in against some really good horses. La Coronel, most notably, who came back to win the prestigious Queen Elizabeth II last week with a 101 Beyer speed figure. Michelle Lavelle's done a very good job with this horse.
Really, really nice job with her. She acquitted herself very well last time in the Sands Point. Her Pucker Up, I thought, was really good. Good trip, but I also thought she was much the best in there. She's a huge contender here.
What did you make of youngest daughter's performance in the Indiana Grand last time out behind Lovely Bernadette? This was a filly that had gone gate to wire in her prior 2 starts, and in the Indiana Grand race, she was taken off the pace.
Yeah, she was taken pretty far back off the pace. I guess the good thing about her is she has that kind of versatility because she's run well from off the pace before, and she's won a couple of races on the pace. the Indiana Grand race, again, it was a really fast pace, so it didn't hurt her to be off the pace. Although, she was sort of behind horses in the upper stretch and had a split mid-stretch. I think maybe that cost her a little bit. I thought she ran fine last time. She's a player in here and probably at a fair price.
She is reunited with John Court, who took her to the lead in those races 2 and 3 starts back. You would expect her to be forwardly placed in here. The 9 is Journey Home. She broke my heart in the pucker up last time. I couldn't really find any excuses. Jose Ortiz came with a big 4-wide sweeping move. This horse took the lead at the 3/16 pole and then was just kicked down late by Fault. That has been a very productive race, the pucker up. Not only did Fault come back to run well in New York, you've had 3 next out winners. A little bit of a layoff here for Journey Home, but I like her actually cutting back slightly in distance, and this fast pace works to her benefit.
Nah, it really does. I mean, she probably come running into what should be a good setup for her. Personally, I hate her last race. I don't know what excuse you want to make for that. I thought she got an absolute perfect trip and had no excuse not to win. And once I get past that, I know she's faced some good horses, Dan. I don't particularly like any one of her races. I know that she could win in here. I don't like her.
Dolce Lily is a lightly raced Chad Brown production. This horse has won 3 of 4 lifetime starts, now gets the acid test. What do you make of Chad running this horse at Monmouth all these times?
I want to say it's a negative, a little bit of a negative anyway. On the other hand, when you watch her run, she does sort of look like a filly who needed some racing. She's very green out there. She got a really good trip and a nice setup in that last race, a fast pace to close into. But I love the way she finished it off. And the win 2 starts back, she was very green, but she straightened out just in time and won. There's something there. I don't know if this is the spot for her, and it's Chad Brown, so you probably take the worst of it on the as far as wagering goes. There's something there with her, though. I think she might turn out to be okay.
Sweeping Patty got a very favorable setup and a beautiful trip 2 starts back when winning the Grade 3 Regret Stakes. Then she stunk up the joint in the Lake George last time out, where she was just in a very nice early position, sitting off of a moderate pace, and there was nothing there. Now, she was running against arguably better horses. Proctor's Ledge was really sharp at Saratoga, but that race was really distressing. And when you look at her running lines, that one big number just seems like an outlier, and that was with that perfect setup.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I thought she ran well that day, but I agree with you. It sort of stands out a little bit in her PPs. And she was so, her last race was so bad that you want to have an excuse for it. I don't know what it is, but maybe she has one. There has been a layoff since then. I guess that's a good thing. I see no workouts since that race either. There's nothing comforting about what's going on with her lately, but she can win with her good race.
Fizzy Friday, the number 12, another lightly raced filly. This one's trained by Nacho Correas. Interested in your opinion on the risk averse. That race had no pace, and she came with a little bit of a run behind Defiant Honor. I think she is getting good. I'm not sure she's good enough to win this.
I agree with all that stuff, and you're right, there was not much pace in that risk averse, but I like the ride that she got because she got a little bit forward in there. I thought the trip was actually pretty good, and she just couldn't get up over Defiant Honor. She's headed the right way, though.
Sully's Dream, the number 13, Timeform US has this horse contesting the pace. I wonder with the blinkers coming off, and you've seen this horse run several times without blinkers early in her career. She really didn't show a lot of pace in those races. I wonder if they'll be a little bit more patient this time around. She's got to run her career best.
Yeah, especially with the outside post. You might see them take her back this time and see what happens. But either way, she's going to need a lot of things to break in her favor to win.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Valley View Stakes. Let's talk about the 14, your top pick in here. This is Ladies Privilege for trainer Michael Matz, 15-1 on the morning line, and boy, she's very consistent.
Yeah, she is. I think she's consistent. I also feel like she's just progressing really nicely for a really good trainer. I mean, every race that she runs is a little bit better than the one before it. I thought she ran really well last time. She made an early move into that race to go after the leaders, and I love the way she carried it on. All through the turn, all through the stretch, she was way the best. In her win, too, the prior turf start at Parks, she got a good trip in that race, but she also took a really bad step on the turn as she was getting clear, overcame that, and still won. I just think she's progressing really nicely. She can race from off the pace. She's going to be a price in here. Why not? This is the kind of race where I want a price, and she'll be one.
I do want to mention the one and only horse on the also eligible list. That's Dancing Breeze, who would be a first-time import for Graham Motion, getting Lasix. That's been a very profitable move for Motion over the years. I thought this horse ran well last time out in that Group 3 Atalanta Stakes, traveling very well at the 2-furlong pole, making the front, and then run down late. I think that was a solid pace where the horse that was on the lead finished way, way back. I think there's something here with this filly. If she somehow breaks into the body of the race, I want to use her.
It's only going to take one scratch for her to get in, and I think she's dangerous if she does get in.
Journey Home, I think it's the right pace in here. I agree with you. It's hard to find an excuse for that last race other than maybe Fault was able to save ground at a key point turning into the stretch. But I think she's okay. I think she's a little bit better than you give her credit for. You're going 14, 10, 5, and 6. I'm hoping that Journey Home can kick them down 9, 5, 3, 12 for me in the Grade 3 Valley Valley View Stakes. If you are playing the Friday Keeneland card from home, please sign up to DRF Bets. You'll be rewarded with a $300 bonus, and all you have to do is go to drf.com/fall and use the promo code FALL300. Approximate post time for the Grade 3 Valley View on Friday, 5:30 Eastern. Good luck.